So, hello, Shirley Ann Sanchez. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for having me here. Excited to be here.
So, I'm going to tell everybody why we're doing this video. It was funny the other day. Shirley Ann called me and she said, "Dave, I've got this great news about this buyer who I got under contract, and then they wanted to list their house." I was like, "Wait, stop talking because this is a great video. Why don't we make a video about this?" So that's how this whole thing came together. So first of all, I guess just if you could kind of before we jump into the whole real estate thing, maybe tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, how long you've been in real estate, what made you choose IED, all those good things.
Of course. Well, I am from Davenport, Florida right now. I actually was raised in New York and Puerto Rico. So that's where I can actually learn and work with Spanish buyers and sellers and also attend my American also customers too because of where I come from as well. Moving to Florida in 2011 was a little rough, not knowing nobody, and getting into real estate in 2015 was a little bit of challenge for me because normally every realtor they have like their neighbors that they know or family or their third generation born Floridians, and here I am. I just some island girl from Puerto Rico and Florida. So
You just had to inject yourself right in.
yeah, so I've always found a lot of success on online leads. So if I've always worked with online leads, never had an opportunity to work with Zillow Flex. So 10 years in real estate, I've acquired a really huge base of clients. I love what I do. I work with both sellers and buyers. And my strong, I would say forte and why customers like coming to me is because I'm very tech savvy, resourceful, and I'm very fast and I'm always available for them. And if I do not answer right away, I text them and I follow up, as I say.
Okay, good. So when you first joined, I guess what were your goals or expectations? Like what did you imagine like it was going to be like? How quickly did you think things were going to take off?
When I first joined IAD or as a realtor?
Now, when you first joined us, because I know you were, if you don't, I guess we
Mhm.
don't have to go to the names of the brokers, but you were other brokers before you joined us. So you
Yes.
didn't, if you were happy there and you were doing well there, you wouldn't have left. So you joined us, and what were your expectations when you joined us? Did you think that the leads were just going to be flowing in and everything was going to be great, or what were you thinking?
I was expecting that it was going to be different though because I know that we did speak about getting Zillow Flex. I wanted to be a part of Zillow Flex in the past with the previous brokers I was with, and it was about team and split on the team and then Zillow Flex, and I was like, wait, this is too much for me. And they wanted me to wait, and it was a lot of politics involved, and I was like, let me search for another brokerage that is able to give me what I need without me having to be involved in so much, but I can still work. I can still show what I'm capable of doing. And I found IAD. I remember reaching out and you called me right away and we spoke about it. And you're like, yeah, we'll get you going. Don't worry. And I'm an independent agent still producing with Zillow Flex without having to worry about being a part of a team and doing a bunch of courses to get started.
Got it. And so we keep saying Zillow Flex, Zillow Flex. So let me explain really quick what Zillow Flex is. Zillow Flex is an invite only program where agents pay, instead of paying up front and buying leads, we pay at the end. We pay a referral fee at closing. So you've been around other companies before. How did the onboarding work for you at IAD? Tell me about the culture here. I'd rather hear it from you because, of course, I would love to say all the great things, but it's nice to hear it from a newer agent to our
Of
company.
course. Well, the culture is very welcoming. It's very inviting, very friendly, very family. Nobody's worried about what you got going on in your personal side. They're just worried of supporting you as an agent and making sure you can be successful. And that's what I liked about it because I'm a very private person. I've always said that I've done real estate, but I'm not the realtor that is in the rah rah, all the meetings. I know I could change that about me, but even though it fit my personality and I still was able to get the support and still show what I'm capable of doing and bringing value to the company as well.
Great. So when you joined the Zillow Flex team, what does that look like? When you signed your license up over at IAD and then the phone didn't ring that day. Tell me a little bit about like how long it took you to get through the training, because Zillow has required training to be on their program. We have requirements that we have to, to fulfill for Zillow so that we're given the best customer experience. So can you kind of tell me, how long did it take you to go through the training? What was that like? And then when did the phone start ringing?
Of course. I got the invite to start Zillow Flex training. I believe it was 3 weeks ago. And I just went through the training in one day. I didn't stop. Like normally people pace themselves, but I was so driven to get this out of the way. I was like, I need to try this and focus on this and make sure if it's going to work, because sometimes there's always that doubt and that hesitation. Is it really going to help me push me into the next level? But I kind of put my whole heart in it. I was like, I'm going to get it done. I finished in one day, all the training. I did everything. I scheduled my coaching with Coach Ron. And then I called you. I was like, Dave, I'm ready. Let's go. And as soon as I guess I called you the next day, my first lead came in. Good. The first few leads weren't that encouraging. I'll say that.
That's okay. It's there, it's Zillow, and you're going to get great leads, and you're going to get leads that do nothing, or they're going to be looky-loos, right? We in any type of lead service, we're going to see that. But I always say to the agents, all the leads are bad until you find the good one, right? There's always some good ones in there. So if you don't mind, can you, because the reason I wanted to do this video, because you said, I got this guy under contract and I got this buyer, and that one of them turned into a listing. And, we get buyer leads from Zillow, but you don't really think about getting a listing. So kind of explain how all that worked and how many buyers you have under contract right now. I'd love to know that.
Sure. So starting where I said the first buyers weren't that encouraging, or the first leads weren't that encouraging. And the reason why I want to highlight that is because sometimes you can take a few leads and you give up on the stuff. You're like, it ain't working, right? Because I had 3 leads first, and one of them that came in was $1 million lead, and he was supposed to come and see a house in Winter Haven. The listing agent didn't have it available for me to show it that day, and he got kind of upset. I still asked him, I see that you're looking at this house, and it was in Bradenton. He's like, yeah, let's go. I'll go see it with you. And I was like, man, I'm going to drive to Bradenton. I live in Davenport. But me, it was about just getting in front of the customer, because I knew he was open to also Winter Haven. So I was like, maybe if I go over there and he does actually stick, then I still would get a really good opportunity near my area if he does come back to my area. So I go to Bradenton. He's a no-show.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So kid you not, I'm already like, man, this is the third one, kind of like a little bit. But then I get my 4th lead. And I attack him with the same love I attack my other first 3, even though I went through what I went through. And some agents, once they get discouraged, they don't continue to have that same drive. So I remember I told my client, I was like, well, the one that I got the 4th, sorry. I was like, well, let's go tomorrow to see the house that he was requesting to see. And I schedule it. And then I'm calling the listing agent. It's not even the listing agent managing it. It's the owner. I don't know if you know these brokers that they just have the owners answering the phone.
Like limited service, yeah.
Limited service, yes. So it was a limited service listing. And the owner was like, well, I'm not paying no commission to an agent. So if he wants to come and see it, he has to come and see it alone. And I'm like, it's like, man, I'm not winning right now. But I said, you know what? Let me be positive. I called the client and I said, hey, I know that you're interested in seeing this home. Just want to let you know, we can still try to schedule it for you. I won't be able to show it, but it looks like it's in a new construction community and there's model homes available there that we can see the model home. It's the same model. And then if you really like the model home, we can then try to see if we can work something out with the owner. But I know that, I don't know if you are aware, there is a lot of incentives that new constructions are giving right now to our buyers. And I wanted to see if you would like to entertain that. He said yes. So we met at the new construction home. He loved the house that we were at. Then we found out that there was a nicer model in a different community. He fell in love. He forgot about the limited service listing. And we went under contract. And then we were speaking about his home. And he was like, I don't know if I want to rent it or I want to sell it. And he said, do you work this market, in the Mount Dora market? I said, I'm a Central Florida agent. I said to him, I've sold houses in Mount Dora and Eustis, but I do not focus in Mount Dora and Eustis because my main strengths are these. And I went through my 3 bullet points: tech savvy, resourceful, and I try to get you the top dollars. And so that got him to continue talking to me in regards to his home. And then I said, let's set up a follow-up appointment so that I can just tour your home, so that I can have a better idea of how the market looks compared to what you have in your hands. He said, okay. And so we went on the contract, and then he said, yeah, you can have my listing too. I'm getting ready to get this done. Let me move into the house first while this is vacant, and then you put it on the market.
Great. So you've got a listing, and then you've been doing this for about a month or a little less than a month. So tell me how many buyers are actually under contract, just the amount, like the number of buyers that are actually under contract, and how many are you really working with that you feel are strong?
Right now, I have 2 buyers under contract in under 14 days.
Wow. That's great.
I have 1 listing, and I have 3 buyers that I'm working with that 2 are in the process of getting approved with the lenders. And one of them, we have an appointment with a general contractor to build a home in their land that they have, existing land. So we have an appointment tomorrow. So 3 strong buyers.
So if you, another agent is listening to this and they're saying, oh, stay away from Zillow, they charge, big referral fees, and you wouldn't, I think your answer to them is that this works, right?
It does work. I look at it as like a barber, right? The barber has to rent a chair, and they don't make money from the first customers because they're renting and they're paying so much, right? But then once they build their database and the continual business that comes throughout that first interaction, that's where your most income is going to come back. I've learned in the past, being in real estate for 10 years and also having really great mentors, that a customer can lead you to 10 transactions if you work the customer correctly throughout the life of the customer. Because a lot of these customers, they're moving in, they have children, or they're going to college, or they're downsizing, or they have family that wants to move in near them. So if you do actually do your work right, yes, you're paying a 40% or 30%, whatever the amount is at the beginning. But after years go by, you have your business built out just because of that transaction that you connected with through Zillow.
Perfect. Okay. So if anybody wants to connect with you, I know you're actively growing your team. I know that you're working with buyers and sellers. You're doing everything right now. I see your information's at the bottom of the screen. Or anything you wanted to say when we wrap this up?
So if anybody wants to connect with me, they're welcome to connect with me and reach out to me, ask me any questions, tweak my brain. I also want to say that faith, and I know that everybody has a different faith journey, but I do give the glory to God always, because he's my rock and he's the one that supports me throughout this process. And I'm always praying and meditating in the Lord. So that does help a lot. So I want to share that out there too as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Shirley Ann, so much for joining today, and keep up the good work and all the success with Zillow.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.